an elephant in a zoo, and this is Oregon Zoo, was when we went for a class, for a field trip. Most I was doing my master's in animal law. And coincidentally, I was in the group where we were told to research about elephants, the characteristics, how it behaves, and so I found this picture to be so convenient to this conference. When I visited the zoo, and especially when we got to where the elephants were, that's when I realized that, yeah, there is a problem. I'm used to seeing elephants in the wild, walking freely, proudly. And seeing these elephants confined in a very small space, that was really depressing. And that was really disturbing. But then, remember, I'm coming from Zimbabwe, where these elephants are regarded as problem animals. Where these elephants are just too many. I'm used to seeing them walking and roaming around. And then I come and then I see an elephant confined in this place. And then now I'm in a conference where people are, sharing stories, sharing the relationship, sharing how important and how precious these elephants are. And I'm thinking, okay. So I want you to understand where I'm coming from, the kind of person that I am, so that you will also be able to appreciate the other side of the world. I come from a place where there's no direct contact with elephants. Elephants are property. So if it's property, I can sell it anytime I want. I can do anything I want with it. So when you share your stories here, I'm learning a lot because I'm not used to that. I'm not used to an elephant having a name. Because there are many, there are 82,000, so I really don't know if you'd name 82,000 elephants. So I was asked to speak about navigating government bureaucracies to protect African elephants. And I've worked with the government for 6 years, 3 years as a prosecutor and 3 years for the Zimbabwe Parks and Wildlife Management Authority. But then the interesting thing about this topic is that exactly 2 years ago, before I came here into the United States, I was also in a situation where I was thinking, okay, how do we navigate and how do we convince the private sector, the non-governmental organizations that are passionate about elephants that we need to sell our elephants, we need to trade our elephants. So now I'm at the other side of the fence where I'm supposed to speak exactly the opposite. And then so basically, there's a presupposition that there's a problem. And what is the problem? Things like communication, culture, trust. I don't know. So for you to understand, or for you to be able to come up with strategies to navigate government bureaucracies, obviously you need to understand the situation, you need to understand the population structure, and you need to understand the threats to the African elephants. So these graphs just show Africa being divided into 4 parts, and we can see in East Africa we have 6,882 carcasses, and then in Southern Africa we have 4,430, Central 2,812, and in West Africa 482. And these are statistics for the past years. So just having a comparison of the different regions in Africa, you can see that there are more elephants are declining in other regions than the others. And also this is relative to the population of each and every area. So we have Southern Africa, where I come from. I'm from Zimbabwe. Botswana has the highest with 130,000 elephants. I'm from Zimbabwe, where there are 85,000 elephants, and our carrying capacity is 40,000. So we have double what we can accommodate. So the reasons for poaching and the reason for these carcasses differ. Climate issues, threats, retaliation killings, so it just differs. So when you go to Africa and you want to navigate the government, know which side of Africa you're going to. Because if you're going to go to Southern Africa, our problems, yes, there are certain problems that are universal, but then know the capacity, know the populations, and know the specific reasons for the decline of populations. Because Africa is not a country. There are 54 countries in Africa. So this is just for you to appreciate the differences of elephant populations and decline in populations from different regions. I won't talk much about CITES COP17 because I believe Adam has already explained what happens. But what I can say that is personal to me was in 2016, before I came here to the United States for my master's program, I was the only lawyer working with a committee of 5 people, and we were busy thinking on how we can fight the proposal that Kenya had forwarded to CITES to uplist the elephant population into Appendix 1. So Kenya has about 30,000 elephants, and we have 85,000, which is double our carrying capacity. So obviously the argument is different. We are from the same continent, but we have different populations, and we also have different problems. So a few months before CITES, Kenya made a statement and they banned their ivory, 105 tons. Yet in Zimbabwe, we are busy piling our ivory from natural mortality, from seizures, and I know that guy personally. This room is like a few meters from the office I worked in, and just before CITES, we were counting the ivory that we had, and it was 90,000. And right now I'm told we have 100 tons of ivory. So we are piling and piling and piling this ivory, waiting for the day that perhaps it will be allowed to be traded. This is Zimbabwe. This is the situation for you. So this is a time bomb for you. Understand the situation so that you're able to know how to deal with the government, which sees elephant tusks, which sees elephants as a resource that brings money. When we see this ivory, we see millions of dollars. So every year on our budget, we are just putting it in brackets, putting 10 million, carrying it forward, hoping that one day we'll get the money. So the threats to African populations, of course, we have the social and economic pressures, and also we have poaching. Yes, poaching is there, and there are different types of poaching, but we also have the social and economic pressures. My question to you is, how would you feel if an elephant kills your loved one? If an elephant kills your wife,